Struggling with ideas, tracing the same lines again and again, continually failing to capture the essence of your subject in your respective field or study, you may have creative block. Hey guys, Tyler Edlin here. I'm up early. I'm not in the office. I'm out on the beach. Well, heading to the beach. I'm going to do my morning run, and I thought it'd be an alright place to answer some of my students' questions and to potentially make a video if this doesn't turn out absolutely terrible. So today's subject of focus will be battling art or creative block. I get that question every term. It's something that does come up often enough. It's something I personally don't deal with a whole lot of because I don't really have the time for it. Like when I do have the time to, sit in my office and produce, I have to do just that, and that is produce, create, whether it's a video, a painting, a drawing, client work. It has to come out, and I think it's because I kind of bottle it up when I'm not working, when I'm spending time, in the yard or with my daughter. I start to just mentally prepare myself for what I'll have to do next session, and it just kind of comes out that way. But let's say that's not the case. What would I do if some kind of art block, some kind of creative issues are preventing or hindering my work from progressing in some sort of fashion? First thing I would do is try to isolate the problem. What is the source of this creative block? And I guess I've been heard it kind of categorized into two certain things, and that would be internally or externally, right? Your problems are coming from either within or outside. So I guess on the outside, it'd be easier to classify as maybe there's some sort of drama, maybe it's a family issue or a friend in need, maybe it's just your immediate environment that's preventing you from creating. That could be part of the problem. In that case, the solution would be to try changing things up a bit. Go sit down in a coffee shop, go to the beach, do a sketch there, go literally anywhere but your workspace. Now, it gets a little more complicated if the problem is in fact internal, because you're going to have to find out or dive a little bit deeper to figure out what exactly that is. And it basically, from my understanding, kind of comes from when your subconscious mind starts to battle your own intuition. And I think to set the balance up right, what we want to do is get that intuition a little bit higher so you can just act and perform on instinct, and kind of suppress a little bit more of like those rational thoughts. The rational side of the mind is a fickle thing, and it tends to overthink things a lot and can, in a way, slow us all down. So that's all kind of part of my first tip here, is to not overthink things. Separate yourself from your immediate environment if necessary, and while on that, just try to finish something. Don't try to make it perfect. As Jake Parker says, he has a couple videos on that, and sometimes we can, again, hold ourselves back if we build something up in our mind before we even start about it being the next best thing or the next perfect thing, and that can really slow us down. And so just the act of creating anything, again, if switching something in your environment or physically up isn't helping, do that artistically. Draw something you've never drawn before. Create something you never created before. Switch mediums. Switch subject matters. Switch genres. And just create. Do a study even. Sometimes that will help break past whatever it is, in fact, holding you back. The next tip I'd like to give is don't be afraid to fail, and allow yourself to fail. And sometimes it's really as easy as that. Just let go of work that is holding you back. And that's what it can be sometimes. You're just on a project that's bogging you down. You're doing personal work that you're trying to potentially build up, or that you don't even have the skill set for, that could potentially meet what your ultimate goal is for it. And it's, again, preventing you from creating. Simply just shelf it for now. Work on something else. These first two sort of tips kind of tie into the third one, which is don't force it. If you're sitting at your desk or your computer and you're trying to produce and create, and you're simply just trying to force something out that is not happening, you're just burning lots of time. Get up and do something else. Like me, if I'm not in the mood, even if it's not a block, if it's not a creative block, if I'm simply not in the mood 100% to create, the work's going to suffer from that. So what I do is just get up, whether it's for 15 minutes to take a break, get some air, walk the dog, or go out, go on a jog, go to the trip to the gym, refresh and reset your mind. That will do a lot, trust me. So part of part 3 here on Don't Force It, I can kind of tag this one in with it, and that's simply to learn something new, or alternatively, just experience something new. It's a great way to reset conscious mind of yours, to separate yourself from your normal consciousness, and it again will give you a new perspective on things, whether it's something subtle, something more immediate, and potentially even more long term. It can really benefit you, just the act of learning something new, which can be as simple as doing a new type of study or taking a class, conversing even with a friend, getting some sort of information or tip, sharing tips with peers. Along those lines, it can really help you out. Now, number 4 is now an extension of this one. Number 3 is simply break up your schedule, your everyday routine. Put some kind of kink in that, twist it up, break that mold. Something about your immediate sort of schedule and how everything's fitting into place is, again, what's ultimately holding things back for you. So you got to switch it up. Maybe start out simple and subtle, and then amp it up and go to more drastic changes if that needs to. I've heard of people so much as like straight up moving and changing cities if that means they can jumpstart their creative fuel again. But the act of having new experience anyway is really at the foundational core of where a lot of us do get inspiration, and where we get that creative information that builds up in our head that allows us to produce with ease. Number 5 may seem like a bit more cheesy, but it's simply to look inward, not so much outward. And what I mean by that is sometimes I know in the past when I've been creatively stuck in a rut, I try to look outwards. I consume maybe more movies, I consume more video games, more media, right? Social media starts distracting us. And in a sense, I don't think that's the best solution. It does work, but I've found better results from looking inward, looking at a deep past feeling or memory, and really trying to pull something, from within, quite literally. Probably an old experience, and it can often be enough creative drive when you find the right one to keep pushing you forward. Now, as you can see, I arrived at the beach and I am ready for my jog. So thank you. Hopefully this hasn't been too bad. Take care. Guys, thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe if you want to see more. You can check me out on Facebook, ArtStation, and Instagram. If you want more in-depth content from me, I teach 2 courses at the CG Master Academy, Architecture Design and Fundamentals of Design. If you want even more learning, you can go to brushsauceacademy.com and sign up for one-on-one mentoring. Join the hundreds of students around the world and start improving your art and design today. If you want to be part of a community, we have Brush Sauce on Discord. We have monthly challenges and hangouts. There are links below for everything I mentioned. Thanks again for watching and take care.